Something unexpected is happening in ranches across America. In barns from Texas to Montana, ranchers are making a choice that would have seemed impossible a decade ago. They're selling their modern, scientifically optimized herds and replacing them with cattle breeds that have survived for centuries, some for millennia. This isn't nostalgia. This is survival. These ancient breeds are solving problems that $500,000 in modern genetics couldn't touch. Lower veterinary bills, reduced feed costs, calves born in harsh conditions without shelter, standing up and nursing like it's just another day. But here's what should concern us. Some of these heritage breeds are critically endangered, with populations so small that when they disappear, we lose genetic codes written across thousands of years of natural selection survival strategies that evolved through ice ages, plagues, droughts, and climate shifts. In this video, we're counting up from the youngest to the oldest cattle breeds still thriving today, why they matter more now than ever, and which ancient breed holds genetic secrets that modern ranchers are desperately trying to preserve. Number 9. Aberdeen Angus. The 200-years-old breed from northeast Scotland is the gold standard in the steak business. The breed that turned grass and grain into marbled, tender steaks that consumers recognize and love worldwide. But here is what most people don't know. Modern Angus cattle have been systematically bred for feedlot environment, with the goal of achieving fast growth on high-grain diets, maximum weight in minimum time, and peak marbling in controlled conditions. We chased yield so aggressively that we bred out many traits that made the original Scottish Angus remarkable. Those original cattle were grass-fed, slower growing, and they put on weight and marbling naturally on pasture alone, without feedlot finishing. They were tough, resourceful, and thrived in the challenging conditions of northeastern Scotland. The breed was formally developed in the early 1800s from naturally hornless black cattle in Aberdeenshire and Angus counties. Scottish farmers meticulously selected for cattle that could thrive on rough Scottish pastures while producing quality beef. Now, progressive ranchers are seeking out heritage Angus genetics, bloodlines that trace back to early Scottish foundation stock, before American feedlot selection reshaped the breed's priorities. Why? Because those old-line cattle gain weight efficiently on pasture without the metabolic issues that can plague intensive feedlot systems. Number 8. The Hereford. With red body and a white face. This 300-years-old breed built the American West and spread across every major cattle-producing continent. When settlers pushed cattle across open range, when cowboys drove herds 1,000 miles to railheads, and ranchers needed animals that could survive droughts, blizzards, and predators with minimal human intervention, they chose Herefords. This breed was developed in Herefordshire, England, beginning in the 1600s to 1700s. English farmers selected for docile cattle with excellent foraging ability, hardiness, and efficient beef production. By the mid-1700s, the breed's distinctive deep red body with white face, crest, dewlap, and underline was well established. These cattle handled extreme climates. They thrived on open range with nothing but grass and grit. By the early 1900s, they dominated beef production from Texas to Argentina. That white face became the international symbol of beef ranching. But then industrial breeding took over. We bred Herefords for feedlot efficiency, for faster growth on grain, for higher carcass yields. In doing so, we diluted some of the genetics that made them such effective range cattle. Number 7. The Jersey cow. A Holstein cow, the dairy industry's most popular milk breed, weighs around 1,400 pounds, consumes substantial feed daily, and produces milk averaging 3.5 to 4% butterfat. Excellent for volume, but expensive to maintain per unit of butterfat. A Jersey, on the other end, weighs around 900 pounds, eats considerably less, and her milk often reaching 5.5 to 6%, a liquid gold in the dairy industry. That's more cream per gallon, more value per hundredweight, and she does it on less feed, less space, less infrastructure. The Jersey breed was developed on the island of Jersey 300 years ago in the English Channel. While cattle local farmers have been on Jersey for centuries, the breed was formalized and purified beginning in the 1700s. The island passed strict laws prohibiting the importation of cattle to maintain breed purity, establishing one of the first closed herd books. Number 6. The Belted Galloway. Popularly known as the Oreo cattle. Jet black on the ends, bright white around the middle, a color pattern so distinctive you never forget it. But that belt isn't just aesthetic, it's a genetic marker of a breed so hardy, so efficient, that Scottish farmers kept them alive through centuries when bigger, flashier breeds came and went. The Belted Galloway developed 800 years ago in the Galloway region of southwestern Scotland. While solid-colored Galloway cattle are ancient, the distinctive belted pattern became a recognized breeding characteristic by the medieval period, with documentation from around the 1200s. Like their solid-colored Galloway cousins, these cattle don't need grain finishing, elaborate housing, or need constant management. You turn them out on rough pasture, check on them periodically, and they reward you with calves every year, and naturally marbled beef without feedlot inputs. They thrive in cold, wet conditions that would stress many modern breeds. Their thick double-layered coat, which contains a softer undercoat and coarser outer coat, sheds water and insulates against harsh Scottish weather. Number 5. Brown Swiss. One of Europe's oldest formalized dairy breeds. When medieval Swiss alpine farmers needed cattle that could produce milk in mountain conditions, steep terrain, harsh winters, and limited feed during winter months, they developed the Brown Swiss. The breed emerged in the alpine regions of Switzerland during the medieval period, roughly 1,000 years ago. These weren't just survivors, they were world-class performers adapted to one of Europe's most challenging environments. Brown Swiss produce substantial volumes of milk, second only to Holsteins in total production globally. But unlike Holsteins, they're known for longevity, fewer health problems, better heat tolerance. The ability to handle mountain terrain that would challenge many modern dairy breeds. They were bred for durability, not just peak production in perfect conditions. Number 4. Scottish Highland cattle. Imagine cattle designed by winter itself. Long, shaggy coats that shed water like oil, double-layered fur so dense you could lose your fingers in it. Cattle that can graze through severe winters without barns, without supplemental grain, without complaint. Highland cattle originated in the Highlands and Western Isles of Scotland, with historical documentation dating back to the 6th century AD, roughly 1,500 years ago. They evolved in one of Europe's harshest climates, cold, wet, windy conditions with poor soil and rough forage. These cattle eat what other breeds refuse: rough grasses, brush, vegetation so coarse and low quality that modern breeds would lose weight trying to digest it. They turn marginal land into profit. Rocky hillsides, wetlands, steep terrain where tractors can't operate, and grain-fed cattle would struggle just to maintain body condition. Highland cattle survived 15 centuries in the Scottish Highlands because they didn't need a perfect condition, they needed land that was tough, and in return, they proved tougher. Their meat is lean and flavorful, naturally lower in cholesterol and fat than many commercial breeds, while maintaining tenderness due to the longer finishing period and natural marbling from grass feeding. Number 3. Chianina cattle. Imagine a bull that stands 6 feet tall at the shoulder, not to the top of his head, to his shoulder. His back is level with a grown man's eyes. He weighs over 3,500 pounds at maturity. This is what the Romans bred to plow Italian soil and feed armies that conquered the Mediterranean world. The Chianina is the world's tallest cattle breed and among the heaviest. Bulls can exceed 1,800 kilograms. That's nearly 4,000 pounds in exceptional cases, though mature bulls typically range from 1,200 to 1,500 kilograms. The breed originated in central Italy, particularly the Chiana Valley, at least 2,200 years ago. Ancient Roman writers documented large white oxen used for both draft work and ceremonial purposes. These were the ancestors of today's Chianina. But here's the remarkable twist. Despite their massive size, Chianina beef is exceptionally lean. high in protein, low in fat, with favorable meat-to-bone ratios that made them valuable for beef production once mechanization reduced the need for draft oxen. Italian ranchers never stopped raising them. They understood the value. But now American and international breeders are paying attention, crossing Chianinas with other breeds to create cattle that reach market weight efficiently on forage-based systems while producing lean, high-quality beef. Rome built an empire with these cattle providing labor and food. Modern ranchers are rediscovering what worked for over 2 millennia. Number 2. Ankole Watusi. Picture a cattle breed that looks like evolution designed it for extreme conditions. Horns that can span 6 to 8 feet from tip to tip. A body built to thrive where modern breeds would suffer severe heat stress within days. The Ankole Watusi's massive horns aren't primarily weapons. They're biological cooling systems. These enormous horns are honeycombed with blood vessels, a sample of nature's radiator. Blood circulates through the horn structure, spreads across extensive surface area, dissipates heat into the air, then returns cooled to the body core. The breed developed in East Africa over 2,000 years, with genetic roots tracing back 5,000 to 6,000 years to ancient African cattle. They evolved in regions where temperatures routinely exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit and water sources can be scarce and scattered. In the Ugandan savanna during midday heat, when temperatures soar, a modern European breed seeks shade and consumes large quantities of water just to maintain safe body temperature. An Ankole Watusi will stand in full sun without panting excessively or showing severe heat stress and grazing calmly. Their water requirements are significantly lower than many modern breeds, a crucial adaptation to semi-arid environments. In a world where aquifer levels are dropping, where ranchers in many regions face water scarcity, and where climate change brings more frequent heat extremes, that efficiency isn't a curiosity. That's a survival trait with economic value. The Ankole Watusi survived 2 millennia because it evolved solutions to environmental challenges that we're only now facing on a global scale. Water conservation through biological efficiency, heat management through anatomical adaptation, survival on scattered, low-quality forage. As climate patterns shift and resources become less predictable, ranchers are reconsidering cattle that were designed by thousands of years of natural selection for exactly these conditions. Number 1. Nguni cattle. Most ranchers accept chemical intervention as inevitable. You drench cattle for internal parasites, spray them for ticks, and inject antibiotics when infections establish. It's constant, expensive, and the parasites are developing resistance faster than new treatments emerge. The Nguni doesn't play that game. These cattle possess natural, genetically encoded resistance to ticks and internal parasites built over approximately 4,000 years of African natural selection. They don't require frequent drenching or regular chemical sprays. Ticks that successfully feed and reproduce on other breeds often fail to complete their life cycle on Nguni cattle. It's a biological defense system that took millennia to develop, and we nearly lost these genetics chasing commercial breeds that grow faster but require constant chemical support. The Nguni arrived in southern Africa with Bantu migrations approximately 4,000 years ago, evolving alongside Africa's challenging disease environment, developing natural resistance mechanisms to parasites, tick-borne diseases, and harsh conditions. Thanks for watching today's video on Cattle County. See you in the next one.